Yeah.
Armor also got double numbers.
She's gonna get it over there.
What's that?
She's gonna get it.
And the pilot, co-pilot, navigator, and bomber. That's all. That's why when grammar school, they locked me in Florida. Plus, I got shut down by the Germans
Oh, did you?
in North Sea, got captured, and I got liberated by the Russians.
Really?
So
Wow.
you probably never see anybody from this neighborhood get was captured by the Germans, and the Russians shipped us to Lithuania. And then when the Germans shipped us to Lithuania, and then when the Russians started coming, they just left us. So
Wow.
then we're in the middle. The Germans left us. The Russians were fighting the Germans. The Germans were fighting the Russians.
Was that the only accident you guys got into? Or were you in another crash?
That is it.
Something like that? What year were you like drafted or?
No, I enlisted in 1942. Okay, the reason when you enlisted, I had better chance to procure. I wanted to go to the airport. Okay, I knew what I wanted. So by enlisting, you get a better shot. It all depends on your IQ. They give you an IQ, and your IQ was up high where you can get into the Air Force. You got in. If it wasn't high enough, you didn't get in.
How long did you have to go in training for?
All right, I started in September.
Okay.
So this the crew that you always flew with?
Yeah,
That was your crew?
we always did everything together. You know, there's 10 people. We played balls, 10 ball team. We went bowling was 2 teams.
Oh, really?
5 of us. You know, so you always work as a
As a team, yeah.
Once we got overseas, we slept together. It depends on how, it wasn't none of us officers.
Yeah.
We were in commission. All of us, the reason we were rated, okay, everybody, a lot of people don't know this, that once you become a sergeant, and all that, anybody that goes on the B-17, the minute you up there, you become a non-commissioned officer or a commissioned officer. So if you get captured like I did,
Yeah.
we're not, if you're a non-commissioned officer, you don't work.
Oh, really?
That exempts you from working. If you're corporal and lower,
Then you have to work.
Then you have to work.
I see. How many missions did you do?
3,
3 missions?
there was, let's see, there's 10 planes in a group, okay? No, 40 planes in a group, 10
Wow.
planes to squadron. 9 fly, 1 stays by. You know, it's always
There's a
it's
watch,
a reserve,
yeah.
right? So out of all the people that were in my group, 1 guy finished 25 missions.
Huh.
We were the first ones in England. When I went to England overseas, I went with a British. We stayed with the British. We didn't have a base of our own yet.
I see. Did you shoot anybody down personally?
But see, you'll never get credit with a hit because everybody's shooting. When
Yeah.
a fighter comes, you got 10 guys, 10 guns in a plane.
Yeah.
You know, you got more than 1 guy shooting at the time. So even we did shoot some planes down, but you get credit as a group. Not no individual gets credit unless you're in a fighter pilot. If
Yeah.
you're a fighter pilot, then you get credit. But if you're like we were in a bomber,
Yep.
we just, we flew like 3, okay?
Mhm.
So out of the 3, you might have 20 guns shooting at one plane.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hit him, and then they give you credit as a group, not as an individual.
I see. Interesting. What was the name of the plane called again?
I forget. No, it's on.
So what type of plane was it?
B-17. It's a flying fortress. That's what they call it.
Have you ever flew a fighter before?
No.
No, never.
What is that?
It's a bomber. My grandfather flew that. He was a pilot.
Oh.
At the same time, he flew over there. They were called fighters, and I'm really sure. It was a bomber. That's all I know.
Well, but we had the heavy bombers. Okay, the B-17 was the highest we had. We had B-7, B-24, B-25s with the medium bombers. Okay, they're all different bombers. Okay.
Yep.
Do you keep in contact with any of these people?
Well, they're all dead except 1. 6 of them got killed when we hit the water in the North Sea. picked us up with a, see, the North Sea during the war was patrolled, half the North Sea was patrolled by the Allies, the other
Yeah.
half was patrolled by the Germans.
Yeah.
If you got shut down in this part of the war,
The German.
then the Germans get you. The planes were continuously flying, but that was the rule with the Geneva Conference and the Red Cross, okay? If you stayed on that side, the Germans didn't go over there,
Yep.
and the Allies did not go on that side, so whatever belonged to Germany, they got us. If we could get over there, halfway over there, North Sea, that was,
Yeah.
got kept, you know.
Yeah, you would've been safe.
We would have been safe, but. So they have seaplane, they come right down Fish
Oh,
But
really?
you can only, in the North Sea, I think the record is 19 minutes. You can survive it because it's ice cold.
Yeah, that's why I was surprised. when you
Yeah.
said
Well, I was in the water about 12 minutes.
Wow.
It faced me, I was blue. I'm blue.
lucky.
Do you remember what it was like when you first arrived, getting trained and everything
What?
with the planes? When you first started started training to calling for people?
Oh, yeah. I started in Buffalo, okay? They shipped us from Buffalo to Fort Niagara. From Fort Niagara, went to Fort Dix. And from Fort Dix, I knew I was going to the Air Force. They sent me to Miami Beach for, that's where I took my basic training. From there, I went to culinary school. I stayed there. From there, I went to Camp 7 Mile in Spokane, Washington. Okay. Then I went to another school. I forgot where it was. I think Great Falls, Montana. And then you're assigned to a crew. Then you get up the whole crew together. And we go 3 months of base training. Then we went overseas. We left from here. We went to let's see, Goose Bay, Labrador, Presque Isle. Then we went to Iceland. From Iceland, we went to Scotland. From Scotland, we went to England. That's where we flew in. The fun part was with the Russians. When the Russians came, they were something that you didn't want to kill. They were barbarians. That's what they
Yeah.
call themselves, and that's what they were. So war is no picnic. So they says, we were still civilized. We were supposed to set the example, but they had their own version of how to treat. They treated us good. I can't say they.
When you were captured, what camp were you in?
I was in Camp Norderney in the Frisian Islands. That was 10 months. From then I went to Frankfurt. That's where you get interrogated. From Frankfurt, I went to Hamburg. From Hamburg, I went to Lithuania, by the crew. And from then on, we were on our own. When the Russians, that's the first point we went, and then when the Russians started coming, and they just left us. Then we stayed there. We got they liberated us in April, and we got out of there Mother's Day, May the 8th. I'll never forget that. The Russians wanted to send us home by way of the Black Sea, Odessa. They wanted to send us to Odessa, and we had a general that says no. We flew into Germany. We're going to fly out of there. So we waited till May the 8th. That's when the Americans came. They flew us. They took us out in B-17s. Flew to Paris. Went to Paris for detox and interrogation. From there we went to La Havre. Got on a boat. So
Is that when you met your wife?
well, I knew
Well,
her
you knew
before.
her.
I knew her before.
That's when you got married and you got back.
Yeah.
Were you guys
But
dating?
we never communicated. I never got a letter from her. She never got a letter from me. Because you see, when I was on that island,
Yeah,
there was
they-
no communication
yeah, they
whatsoever.
didn't know
And
where you
once I started moving, once I got out of there,
Mm.
and I went to get interrogated, then they started moving us up, skip and jump, because then the invasion started, and there was just one big mess there.
Yeah.
Now, did you win any medals or anything like that? Awards?
Yeah, we got a Purple Heart. There's one. There's right there. No, it's not the one. This one. You got Purple Heart. You got the Good Conduct Medal, Air Medal, Sharpshooter. You get all those medals. They give you. All my kids got a medal. All my grandchildren got a medal. They keep sending to you. So I give them all. Every one of them got a souvenir. But it was no fun. It's something to do. You don't want to. I didn't want to talk about anything. My mother and father never knew what happened to her. After I came back, I would not talk about it. So he gave with my grandson when he decided he was going to make a plane, make a replica of the plane that I flew in.
Mm-hmm.
So him and another guy, when he was in school, I think Roger Parker, they started making this plane. They made a plane,
Mm-hmm.
a replica B-17. I could hang it in my house.
Oh.
That's cool.
And that's when they started opening up how it was. There was no picnic.
Yeah.
Your parents must have been really nervous that
Pardon?
they didn't hear anything from you for 10 months.
No. Yeah, well, that's my parents figured I was dead. In fact, everybody figured I was dead. When you don't hear from, because you see the Germans, when they had me there, well, my leg was all banged up and my nose had broken nose, concussion and all that stuff. But they kept me there for 10 months and they did not want to let me go. They wanted to keep me there because there was, they'd never seen an American murder. It's nice. But the bad part was they didn't communicate with anybody with outside, so my parents never knew.
Did you do anything like after you knew that you were going to be living there? Was there anything that changed about you when you went back out, like after you recovered after the 10 months? Like, did you do anything differently?
Well, you know what? Our biggest fear was that we never knew what was going to happen to us. You see, they didn't tell us. We never knew about prisoners of war because they never told us that. We figured that we were going to go in there, we were going to get killed, or the war's over, it's going to be finished. So we got to be prisoners of war. We did not know what's going to happen to us. We don't know what our next move is. It's just like, when they took us to Lithuania, then they left us. They didn't tell us anything. They just left us. Now we're in the middle. We don't know what's going to happen. You're on your own, 3,000 miles away from home. And, it's that's what worries you, that you don't know whether you're going to live or die,
What did you do after the war? Once you were out of the military and stuff.
Well, I got a disability from the government, and I went to work at Bedlam Steel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, now you grew up in Lackawanna?
Yeah. I lived in Lackawanna. I stayed there. I went to McKinley Vocational High School. That's why I joined the service right after that, and because I figured, like I said, I'd get a better shot at going to the Air Force if you enlisted than being drafted. Once you're drafted, then they do whatever they want.
How old were you when this happened?
20. Started when I went in the service, I was 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 3 years and 1 month. Yeah. September, and I got out in October. 45 when in September 42.
Did you try to write to your parents and everything while you were captured? Or
Yeah, I think we were allowed to send four postcards, one a month. Okay, but the first 10 months, nothing. You see, that was the whole thing. When I was on this island, it's just like you were. Nobody knew you existed. You were isolated, and they didn't. No communications whatsoever. They said they told me that the Red Cross would notify my parents, but they didn't. My parents got notified. A woman picked up a shortwave radio that the Germans broadcast. The Germans used to broadcast the people that were captured. Their names. And once they got us to interrogation, they would notify the Geneva Red Cross. Okay, that's how they work everything. Some woman picked up a shortwave message and called my mother and my father in Lackawanna and said that I was alive. They didn't want to believe it. So they went to the Red Cross right away. The Red Cross says, well, we'll check. And they checked, and they said, yeah, that's true. But it was tough one, especially the first year I was in prison camp wasn't bad, but once the invasion started, and that's when it was really bad.
They didn't get you any work.
No, that's what I was telling you about.
Yeah.
That's why you get the sergeant or higher. Okay.
Yeah.
That way they think. But if you were corporal or under, you made your money.
So what did you do?
Nothing. We just stay. That's it.
Huh.
Nothing you can do. There's no activity. It's just like in a prison. Over here in prison, at least you could walk around. Well, we walked around,
Yeah. Did they feed you or like real little?
Well, I lost 60 pounds. Wow, 3 years.
How long were you and your wife, like, how long did it take for you guys to get married after you came back?
Okay, got out in 45 of October, got married the following June.
What made you, like, what made you fight to stay through the war? How'd you?
Well, when the war started, we knew we had to go because it was a big war. Okay, so you know eventually, especially when you're 20 years old, you couldn't get away from it. There's no way that you stay out of it. So you either enlist or you wait till you get drafted. So we enlisted.
Were you home when the war officially ended?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were home.
Yeah, see, Eisenhower at that time was
Mhm.
commander-in-chief, so he made sure that all the prisoners and all the wounded people got home first.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're top priority. We had top priority. Same way if I wanted, when I was in Patrick Henry, Virginia, to get home, I wanted to fly home, At
Yeah.
that time during the war, you had to have pumps and they were pumping you and everything, they give us top priority.
Mhm.
We want to get on a plane, got on a plane.
That's good. Yeah, that's good.
That was real. That was a good part about it.
Yeah.
That was.
So they interrogated you when you were first captured?
Oh yeah.
What kind of stuff? did
They knew more. They knew more about me than I did.
Really? Oh.
You would never believe it. When I went to interrogation, there was a colonel, German colonel, come in,
Yeah.
and he walked in there, and he had a folder like this, and right there it says 385 bomb group, 548 bomb squadron, crew one.
Huh. They had everything listed.
I'm laying there, okay, in Frankfurt.
Yeah.
And you can imagine what that guy looked when my eyes and all, this guy, and he opens it up. He's got the pictures of the whole crew.
Huh.
This picture, that's what he had.
He
Same
had
thing.
that?
He had the same thing with him.
I wonder how they got that.
It's kind of scary.
Their intelligence was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And all they wanted to know is what kind of bombs we had, what was our airspeed, and what was our altitude.
Really?
That's all they wanted to know.
Hmm.
So more, the reason for that is for a pattern. So because
Oh, yes.
they so anti-aircraft when the Americans were coming with their B-17s, you fly we flew between 28 and 32,000 feet. And
How fast were you? Do you know how fast you were?
210 to 240.
Did you guys drive in the bombs?
Oh yeah. Bumped over. The tavern says where perimeter.
Mhm.
One of them says where I was shot down over, but it was over and over. They put down perimeter even, but that was a different mission. The one we went after a rubber tire factory
No.
in Hanover. That was one of the biggest rubber factories that they had. The Americans, we never bombed cities or that. We bombed factories.
Didn't you bomb airports?
No.
Runways?
No. English did that. We did.
Oh.
We did all precision bombing. Was all factories, oil fields. We bombed the ball bearing factory. Hanover was a tire factory. Romania had the oil fields, so they bombed the oil fields. We did the precision bombing. The English would go in at night and do the airports and do the down. But we were pretty good. With boundary was pretty good. You hit the target. Sometimes we went on one mission.
Mhm.
We couldn't drop our bombs because the target was cloudy and we couldn't see it right. So
Yeah.
we dumped the bombs in the North Sea.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Because once you pull the pins, okay,
Then
then you gotta either get rid of them or if you land with them, they're gonna blow up. So you dump them.
yeah.
But then I found out later on, after the invasion, they dumped many places in Germany. They just told them,
Yeah,
just
no
get rid of
problem.
them, we were told that if the target, if we didn't hit the target, bring it back, and that was bad. We lost a couple planes like that.
When you were during war, did you write down things that were happening? Did you like keep a journal or anything?
They won't let you keep anything. No. The Germans were very funny. We had people that, they gave us Red Cross parcels, so we were a way of, they used to build tunnels for people to escape, and they give us cans, and they count, they know how many cans are in a package. So what we used to do, we used to smash the can, cut it in half, okay? And when you throw them in, you get credit for one can. We cut two, we keep one can. They use it for digging dirt and making tunnels and stuff like that. That's how we used to get all our stuff, Bartering was very good with the Germans, you always got some people got parcels, like if you got a parcel from home, and you were living like a king.
Did the Germans ever catch you doing that?
They never got it. I imagine if they did, we never heard about it, but they didn't. Most of the Germans didn't care about stuff like that. They were if you escaped. They counted us morning, noon, and night, 3 times a day. Just going for a roll call.
When you label it all, you really can't do
No. They give you a dog tag, just like we had American dog. They give you a dog tag. That's all you have.
Now, what was your most memorable experience? What do you say for the whole war?
Probably when I hit the water in the North Sea. That was something that you'll never forget. Because you almost died. Almost died. I know I was blue when they pulled me out.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And that is the reason they took me to this coast. That's why the orders that we were supposed to take, they were supposed to take us to the mainland. But me and another guy were banged up so bad that they figured, well, they weren't there to take my legs, but they didn't. It's so funny. I go into this hospital in the Virgin Islands, and this guy that worked on me, the doctor, guess what? He went to Syracuse University.
Really?
He knew Niagara Falls and everything better than I did.
Really?
It's neat.
He studied there and went back to Germany. Never got him either. Dr. Frank.
Did your whole crew survive the crash?
No, 6 died.
In the crash alone?
Yeah.
Did anybody die while they were in the camp?
Oh yeah.
Or your crew?
No, not in my crew,
Oh, yeah.
but when I got into one camp we were in I think it was Swankford or something.
Yeah.
In the prison camp, we'd be able to walk around, okay? Well, we had women guards, German women guards, okay, because most of the guys went to the front, okay?
Yeah.
They shot at people walking, prisoners that were. I talk about an experience. I'll tell you what happened when the Russians came and liberated us, okay? In that camp, those 3 officers got killed by the German women guards, okay? Well, they caught one. They made a stand at attention where they cut her leg off. And then, this is what they said about the barbarians, what I was telling you about. They said, well, they're going to give her something to remember. He said they would shoot her or put her on her misery. That wouldn't be right. He said, we're going to give her something to remember by. Remember the war by. Cut her off, put her in the wagons and get her out.
Oh gosh.
Never knew what happened. It wasn't nothing, it's,
Yeah.
but it seems like that food was, the second year, food was very, very, I know my mother and father used to tell us, like these donuts, make sure you eat this, someday you're going to be sorry,
Yeah, I knew it.
Guess what? Nickel Hershey bars,
Yeah.
$100. The other nickel Hershey bar, buy it for $100.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody had money, but they didn't have no food.
Huh. Wow.
Did you keep in contact with anybody from the war? that was, that you, did you know anybody when you came back?
One guy came that was in prison came with me from Canada. He came to visit me. I didn't see him, but he called me up. And then I went to Florida about 10 years ago. There's a guy there that was with me in prison camp. He was in Cleveland. I kept in touch with him, and then he left Cleveland, bought a house in Florida when he got older, and I went to see him.
Was it weird seeing them, or was it like kind of nice to see somebody new?
Oh yeah, it was real nice, you know. I mean, under the circumstances when we were in prison camp, you know, he when he come out of the service, he got a bar. He had a bar in Cleveland right next to the stadium. So whenever we went to see Cleveland play the baseball team, I'd go see him. He's the only guy I kept contact with.
You been into any reunions lately?
No. I look in the paper every month. I get to the thing that we never had it. Nobody got interested in the reunion.
Huh.
Well, you see, what made it bad is because, like I told you, out of the whole
Yeah.
outfit, only one guy finished, 25. So most of the guys scattered. Nobody ever finished the whole thing where you stayed as a group.
Yeah.
Because every day you lose 2 planes, 3 planes. You know, we were getting it bad.
After the war and you came back home, was it weird to see everyone? Was it hard for you to open up and talk to people or talk
Yes,
to
well, like I said, I never opened up till my grandson started building the plane. My mother and father never knew what happened to me or how it was or anything.
Were they ever curious?
Oh yeah. My sister asked me. My 2 sisters always ask me, but you know.
You just tell me you don't want to tell me about it.
Well, you know, it's something they do. You know,
Yeah.
I don't think anybody. I think if you go talk to some of the people that went to Iraq, I don't think you're going to. I don't think they're gonna. Don't even want to talk about it
Yeah.
because it's a war is a bad memory. You know, I mean, it's.
When you came back, was it hard for your friend, like to hang out with your friends too, or did you get to go? Did you get to go see some of your friends and stuff? Was it easy to see them?
Oh yeah, it was. You know, because right off the start when I came home, I stood up. My cousin got married, and he was still in the service, so we had a military wedding. Okay, so we're all in the uniforms, and that we had a guy from here. I was in the Air Force with Navy, Marines, you know. So we had 5 of us stood up for him. We had a big wedding. So and then you got everybody started. We would talk like we're talking now amongst ourselves what happened, but we wouldn't tell our family about it, you know, because it's something we figured we didn't want to, you know, it's added up worries. So
Yeah.
Or like a more.
right,
What year did you have your wedding?
46.
36. Oh, right after the end.
Right.
And when you came back, you just went like right back to your wife?
I got discharged October 26th, and I started working October 20th, 3 days after I got discharged. Well, you figured you rested 2 years, so it was long enough to rest, so it's time to go back to work.
Yeah.
Did you know when you got home that you wanted to marry your wife?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
guys do?
Oh, yeah. That was another story. That was hard because I was Polish and she was Italian, and at that time when we were young, we didn't mix nationalities. That was a no-no, you know. So it made it worse yet. Come out of the service and go get hit with that. So that no picnic.
Did you play any pranks on anybody while you guys were stationed in different places, or did anyone play any little jokes on anybody?
No, we were all serious. It was all. No, well, we went bowling and stuff like that. We played ball, but I mean, it's we knew what was ahead of us. You know, we knew what. And this right here, when I went to school there, I met Clark Gable. He was in his class. You know, he was in the same school we were. You know, so and we met through Jimmy Stewart. That's it too. And when we went to England and ran into Clark Gable again because he was in the same class we were, same group. So he gave us all autograph pictures and signed a picture. We sent it home. And my sister thought it was really something. But everybody knew that you had a job to do. You know, you didn't know whether you're gonna come back or not, you know.
Yeah.
So when the Russians came to liberate you guys, do you know what was going on? Do you know that they were saving you? Or did you?
Oh, we knew they were coming. We used to holler all night. We used to chant, "Come on, Joe, because it was Joe Stalin who was the premier. So we used to holler like, and they used to get the Germans mad, but we used to holler, "Come on, Joe." We used to wait for them to come. Because you hear, you could hear the guns, you hear the,
Yeah.
so you knew they were getting close. The only thing is we didn't know what they were going to do with us, But don't forget, we gave World War II, everything we had was going to the Russians because they were helping us, so they were our allies. So but everything they had was American. But in the prison, we had French, we had Polish, all different nationalities.
Yeah.
So when you seen an American, they was really something.
Were there a lot of Americans there?
There was 6,500 in the camp, but I don't know how many Americans.
Yeah.
There's maybe, I would say maybe 3,000. The rest were all, international.
French.
Because you see, you had a lot of Polish people that were in England, you had a lot of French people that were in England that were flying, airplanes and that. So they got captured. They used to fly at night. We used to fly during the day. We never flew at night. We always flew during the day. The English flew at night. We flew during the day. That's how there was a continuous hit all that.
Yeah.
When you speak about this now, is it nice to think about everything that you did, or is it kind of?
Well, every time a war starts, it brings memories. Sit
Yeah.
back, this Iraq is, we think it's a big joke. We think it's a big joke because you don't know how many people that are hurt, that lost their arms, lost their legs, and everything. I mean, for what? What is it? Where is it going?
Yeah.
We knew we had a job to do, and we went in and do it.
Yep.
Can you see where you guys are young? Tell me where are you going with Iraq? Where does it end? We're supposed to be the most powerful country in the world, and we're playing around games.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
I think we gotta wrap it up.